Ever wondered what happens when a lion, a fox, and a crocodile decide to become friends? Picture this, our first character, a lion, strutting about with a pompous aura, his deep voice echoing through the jungle, declaring himself as the undisputed king. Quite the character, isn't he? Now our second character is a fox. Don't let his size fool you. With a voice as sly and cunning as they come, he's the clever trickster of the pack. Always up to some mischief, this one. Finally, meet our third and final character, a crocodile. He speaks slowly in dull, lazy tones. He's the resident sunbather who can't seem to get enough of the warm river days. One day at the riverbank, these three distinct characters cross paths. Amidst the wild, they decide on something quite unheard of, forming an unlikely friendship. But as they say, the course of true friendship never did run smooth. So what happens when a lion, being the king, finds himself in a pickle? Imagine this. The lion, in his deep, booming, and somewhat arrogant voice, confesses a secret. He's afraid of water and can't swim a single stroke. Water ... IT quote S, just not my thing, he says, paws shaking at the thought. Now picture the crocodile, slow, muddle-headed, but well-intentioned. He offers, "Hey, why don't I teach you how to swim, mate?" The lion, already in a state of panic, now has a full-blown crisis. His eyes widen, his mane stands on end, and his tail even fluffs up a bit. And then we have the fox, sly and quick-witted, smirking at the scene. He chuckles, a light teasing sound that echoes through the jungle. Oh, the irony, he thinks. And here we have the mighty king of the jungle, afraid of a little water. How do you think a sly fox can solve this royal problem? Enter our crafty fox, a character known for his cunning and wit. The fox, in his characteristic sneaky voice, begins to hatch a plan. He's got an idea, and it's a real doozy. He turns to the lion and crocodile, his eyes twinkling with mischief. What if, he begins, drawing out the words to heighten the suspense, we use the crocodile as a makeshift bridge to cross the river. The idea is so outrageous, so absurd, that it just might work. The crocodile, in his slow, dull voice, contemplates the proposal. A bridge? Him? The idea seems laughable, but he finds himself nodding in agreement. It's a simple solution, and he can't help but be intrigued by the fox's audacity. The lion, ever the regal figure, sounds relieved yet still pompous as he agrees to the plan. He has his reservations, of course, but he trusts in the fox's cunning. After all, he's got no other options, does he? And just like that, the problem is solved, or so it seems, because in this wild and wacky world, nothing is ever as straightforward as it appears. The fox's plan, as ingenious as it is just the beginning of a much larger adventure. So buckle up, folks, we're in for a wild ride. Well, that's one way to cross a river, isn't it? But what's a story without a little twist? As our Lion King bravely steps onto the back of the crocodile, the scales beneath his paws cold and slippery, a shiver runs up his spine. Suddenly, in a voice as rough as the riverbed, the crocodile grumbles, "Perhaps I should eat you instead, your majesty." The lion's heart skips a beat. His mind races, fear creeping into his thoughts. In the midst of this tension, our fox, as sharp as a tack, springs into action. He chuckles and says in his sly, cunning voice, "Oh, Mr. Crocodile, why would you want to eat the big, tough lion? I'm much smaller, easier to catch, and I bet I taste just as good." The crocodile, caught off guard, ponders over the fox's words. His mind, not as quick as the fox's, takes a moment to process this new proposition. He shrugs his massive shoulders and grunts his agreement. Makes sense. Seizing the moment, the lion, shaking with relief, leaps from the crocodile's back to the safety of the riverbank. The fox, with a triumphant grin on his face, scurries away, leaving a puzzled crocodile behind. And that, my friends, is why you should never trust a crocodile or a fox, especially if you're a lion.